We have no technical difficulties today. Keep it simple. Keep hydrated. Lots of juicing. Thank you to Escape Root Juicery, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have all this beautiful juice made from love. Because I'm telling you, it makes all the difference. It makes all the difference in how you feel and how your body heals. Yeah, we'll do that. So this is actually mixed two of them. Apple spice is one of my favorites, as is Magic Mermaid, hence the color. They put E3 Live in it, dandelions, all sorts of yummies. So, welcome to my party today. Tender, but not that bad. Like, I feel good. Got a little sweaty. Hopefully that's not going to be a problem. If you've been following me, hopefully you're not too squeamish. I have been noticing the string, literally, it's not in there right now. Not on this side. On the other side, there's string. So you can kind of see, you see that little white thing? You can't not see it. It's crazy. See? I'm going to show you. Some of it has made its way into the little, I'm covering up just for squeamish. It's just blood plasma, honestly, because we're not really draining blood. You see that? The only reason there's blood on it, obviously, is it absorbed it. Now, it could be from my body, and it could be some sort of a suture. So there's that. It literally looks like a string. It looks like a gauze string. It could be disposable, not disposable. What do you call it? Dissolvable. You know, the dissolvable sutures that they sometimes use inside of your body that your body will eventually no longer need once the muscles, tissues, everything attaches where it needs to naturally. And then the body gets rid of it, you know, like if it dissolves, it's still going to remove it either way. And because these tubes, apparently, they go up here, I can feel them up around my arm, the sides of my lymph areas. And then I literally was noticing they actually kind of wrap around the top. It's the strangest thing. But I'm going with the flow, and I feel good. I did notice the other day as I was kind of patting and touching, you know, you can go up, you know, when I take this off, I can go underneath, and there's a little indentation from where the breast implant was pushing on my rib, on my chest cavity. And so that is something I did read over. It causes a concave area because of the pressure. I mean, 23 years of having breast implants in my body. It also said that your body can also still grow out. I mean, you have to remember the lungs and the heart are underneath the ribs. So, you know, expansion, contraction. So I know my body may take some time to get back to au natural, but I'm excited because, you know, it's a process. And this is a growth process. This is a transformation. I am like the butterfly coming out of the cocoon. So in a way, I would say I'm still in the cocoon in this sense, and I'm in the gooey stages. It's not so comfortable. You know, the butterfly has to go through the metamorphosis over here. The caterpillar, it goes into the cocoon, becomes all ooey gooey, and then it creates this beautiful butterfly. So yeah, I'm going to see how this evolves. Tomorrow's my appointment, follow-up, and I'm excited because then I can ask more questions. Like I said, I will find out tomorrow what the doctor's consensus is on the stringies. Fortunately, they're not like weird. Nothing's been discolored. I've just had the color of blood. And literally now it just seems as if I am draining predominantly blood plasma. So hopefully, cross your fingers, I get these tubes out tomorrow, because this is annoying. It's just that, and I want them out of my body. No more foreign objects inside the body. That was my lesson in life. Because we don't realize, we assume that if it's available, it must be safe. That's everything from food to every walk of life. Even the words organic are such a lie. I mean, you go shopping, there are different determinations of what makes something organic. You know, like I use canola oil as an example because canola oil was originally a GMO altercation of rapeseed oil from the rapeseed plant. And most people think I say grapeseed. It's rapeseed, RAPESEED. And it's that yellow flower out in the fields, and it is still toxic. It's used in industrial degreasing. But anyway, when you originally alter it, there's no such thing as calling it organic after it's already a GMO to begin with. So there's nothing healthy or safe about it. But I'm also of the belief, and this is through my personal experience, the more I have eliminated oils out of my diet, because if you think in terms of whole food, your body wants to receive things in their whole state. Otherwise, when you break things down, okay, juicing, I mean, technically, there are different ways to consider this. You don't drink a lot of juice because your body gets the nutrients. It's really more of a mindset. You think, oh, I'm not full. But then what's your definition of full? The body will tell you when it's full, but the mind will go into its own definition of what is full. So just for example, with oils, though, it takes how many olives to make olive oil? And then it's no longer the whole food with the fiber and everything else in it. And so it creates kind of like a film in your body so that the food and the nutrients can't penetrate through the stomach lining. If you really do your own personal experience, this is what I have learned. I notice if I have too much oil, I get a glossy, it blurs my vision. I also notice sometimes it causes like real sluggishness in me, literally. So oil can create sludge too. But then again, because I've had these repaired, I've had the implants removed, I'm really excited to see over these next days, weeks, months, really excited to see what clears up that I've been trying to heal for years, between the Raynaud's, the cold in my extremities, between allergies, stomach digestive issues. There's so much we take for granted, we don't consider or correlate to choices we make. And every choice we make creates change in our lives, and every change that occurs in our life creates more choices for us to make. And so we need to be more mindful, and this is what I've learned in my life. The more mindful you are of your beliefs, your patterns, your thoughts, and behaviors, then you can start to see and connect the dots of what has created what situations in your life. Being mindful of all of that allows you to make better choices and to have different changes and opportunities present themselves to you. Because again, everything starts with a choice. Nothing is really ever done to us, with the exception of when you're growing up as a child and you don't have much choice. But essentially, we are influenced from everything outside of us. So we have to learn to discern what is truth, test our inner barometer. Our body is our truth indicator, and what is not for us. And nobody can do that for another. Which is why I wanted to discuss what is love to you, because it was reopened again for me recently. I have been on this journey for a very long time of healing myself, and especially since I came back to the United States after I lost my job in Italy in 2008. That was a huge wake-up call for me. It was like me, I literally was kicking and screaming. To me, it was the why me moment of my life. I was in a toxic relationship. It was abusive, mentally, emotionally, physically. And I was literally like, how did I get here? And my job situation was toxic. So when I lost my job because I was supposedly fired, I wanted justice. I wanted to be vindicated because it wasn't right. Because that was how strong my will and my mind was at the time. But what I've learned since then is the universe steps in, no matter how just or unjust, and will save you or redirect you, because rejection is redirection, in the direction you're meant to go. And if you're not making the choice will be made for you. And that was a huge lesson for me. And I knew it at the time. I even said it to my mother and said, God saw that I was not happy in the situation I was in, and I wasn't making the choice to change it, that I was enduring it, trying to find another fit instead of getting out of it, which would have been less stress. It would have also meant a lot of trust. I didn't trust at the time my ability to be able to transition into another position. Instead, I felt like I had to have one to jump to the other. And that's very common for many of us, instead of taking a break. Like, I had a medical condition, I had a cervical spine issue, and I didn't know I could take disability. I should have been tending to my body, but I didn't know that back then. And now I am very much aware of the whole situation. So as a result of coming home, it helped me to see the patterns and where my relationship was mirroring an old relationship my parents used to have, and that my dad had similarly with his wife. And I was like, oh, this is dirty, ugly. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is me right now. And as a result of the awareness and seeing it, being willing to see it, I was able to make the choices to change. And I started doing a lot of self-development, personal development. You know, I went to Anthony Robbins' Date with Destiny, and I started reading a lot more and listening to a lot more podcasts and YouTubes and videos, and just finding lots of information to help me evolve and to grow. And I chose, after we broke up, which would have been 2010, that I wanted to work on me and that I was going to stay single during that time. And I predominantly have, give or take a couple interruptions, intermissions, in the meantime, relationships. Always a lesson, always a blessing, because that's how life is. There isn't a darn thing that doesn't show up to you to teach you and make you grow. You can blame or try to shoot the messenger, but the truth is, I love this quote, bless your enemies because those are the ones that lift you the highest. If it wasn't for people to poke and provoke you, you may never have actually gotten on board and done something. Because when someone lights a fire under your ass, it's only so long before you finally realize, I gotta move because that's gonna burn. And so when we are in our most uncomfortable, that is when we grow the most. We don't grow inside of our comfort zone, people. It's just a fact of life. So over the course of my healing and finding out I was allergic to gluten and having to change my diet and changing my lifestyle and also changing my friends, because I went from a completely different environment back to something new. And that in its, all these major life changes occurred in the span of, well, since 2008 into where I am today. And I call it my rebirth, because I didn't realize, and this, getting my breast implants, was the last piece of it. This is the last piece of the life I lived. The life I lived as a Naples party girl / professional IT engineer. All that stuff changed in 2008. But I hadn't yet let go of the biggest one. And that was the body image, the body augmentation and alteration. Like, I know I'm healthy, but boy, I'm going to be so much healthier now because I took these foreign objects out of my body. And you know, I'm not here to tell people you need to go do it, but start listening to your body and notice, were these symptoms or these situations or these things that you may have are experiencing in your life happening prior to your breast implants? Because I didn't even start connecting the dots right away. I never considered that all these crazy symptoms were the result of having implants. Because in my mind, of course, we're going to go back in the day, 23 years ago, and I knew I wanted implants prior. I had chosen because they were available and I had the money to pay for them. And I never stopped to think that there was anything wrong with putting them in me, because there wasn't a lot of research. There wasn't a lot talked about. But the manufacturers of breast implants are very well aware that they cause illness, dis-ease, that they rupture, that they can be defective, that they leach chemicals into your body, over 50 chemicals or something crazy. And if we ourselves aren't taking stock of our own body and we're placing it in the hands of someone else, that disempowers us. We have to live in this temple 24/7. And so just because something is available doesn't make it safe. Just because it's FDA approved doesn't mean it's safe or that you should just trust it. Because if we trusted everything and never questioned anything, come on, people, we'd still be taking Coke as syrup. There's all sorts of stuff out there that has been found years later, like the barium enemas. You know, uranium up your ass and shit. I mean, seriously, come on. I totally can't even imagine being a monkey or an experiment project. But we are. Essentially, most of this stuff is being practiced on us. If you just remember the languaging that doctors practice medicine. There's nothing in there that says they take care of your health. There's nothing in there that says they connect the dots. That when you give them the symptoms, they tie it back to something. They don't go to the root cause. That's up to you. Even if you tell them they're going to give you a Band-Aid for whatever that symptom is, because that's practicing medicine, and that's the business. That's the business model. And that's what their license basically says. So over the course of my time with everything I've learned, I was excited every time I'd learn something new. And you can attest to this. Let me know how many of you out there have done this. This is just human nature. We find out something that saves us heartache. It like changes our lives, and we want to share it with the world. We want to tell our loved ones. We want to help them the way we found help. Because we suffered and endured something for a long period of time. We don't want to see others suffer the way we did. So it's natural for us to think that what worked for us will work for others. And that in itself is the biggest farce. Because the majority of people, all of us, myself included, do not like to be told what to do, how to do it. They don't like others to control them. So even if it comes across as you being exuberant and like excited and they love you, they may be annoyed